Donald Trump is gaining on Hillary Clinton because this seems to be and is a defining issue for many voters out there. National security. Donald Trump stressing the words, Dr. Jasser, of saying the words of radical Islam earlier today. Take a listen.
These are sick, evil people that want to destroy this country. And the way we coddle them and the way we're afraid to say anything and we're afraid to say what the problem is and who they are, and they don't want to say radical Islam. They don't want to talk about radical Islamic terrorism. Obama won't even say the words, neither will Hillary Clinton.
You know, it's still a mystery to a lot of people out there, Dr. Jasser. You've pointed out the 9/11 Commission report used the term Islamic radical terrorism about 7 times. I don't understand, and voters out there don't understand, why won't Democrats acknowledge this term?
Because the focus of their life and their entire axis is not about American national unity, but about partisan politics. And they want to check the box that they protect Muslim minorities for their vote, can vote for Democrats, and will protect it, the grievance groups. When, in fact, as we see with the New York bomber, the grievance groups are actually part of the radicalization process, as we see his family was suing the federal government. We see this in the San Bernardino shooters and others, that the grievance groups actually radicalize our faith community. But more importantly, the narrative, the true narrative of a battle of ideologies is about defending freedom against theocracy. And until you name that, the precursors, these guys don't go to bed normal Americans and wake up the next day violent extremism. The precursors is theocratic Islam, Sharia state, jihad, Salafism. And until we identify those things, you can't counter them and hold Homeland Security accountable for all those precursors that exist for years. And this is why we're completely losing this whack-a-mole program.
Yeah, Dr. Jasser, President Obama, Hillary Clinton, you know, to your point, saying making this a religious war, you know, it's exactly what the terrorists want. Take a listen.
We cannot let ourselves be divided by religion, because that's exactly what the terrorists want.
They want to use that to recruit more fighters to their cause by turning it into a religious conflict.
Are you buying that, Dr. Jasser?
Well, no, because what I'm not buying is that when they don't declare that there's a problem within the House of Islam, we're not saying that to say that there's a problem within means you're alienating all Muslims, but actually you're taking sides for those who share our values, and you're taking sides against the theocrats. I would tell you that President Obama's position is a bigoted position of low expectations. When Prime Minister Trudeau in Canada or President Obama last February go to a mosque that separates women and men and has an inherent ideology of misogyny, that tells my community that, oh, we don't care what you do in the mosque, how misogynist, how 13th century you are, as long as you vote Democrat and you say that you're against violent extremism, that's all that matters. But those ideas are precursors for radicalization, and we have to hold my community accountable to the same values.
Dr. Jasser, Donald Trump saying, you know, the real war on women is being waged by Islamic radical terrorists. And, you know, he's saying essentially that Hillary Clinton's not bringing that up. Also, the brutal slaughter of gays and people who, you know, the Islamic terrorists just don't like. And you know who's calling out Hillary Clinton? Watch this. I want you to take a listen to this, Dr. Jasser. It's an opinion piece from the Jerusalem Post saying, essentially, can you imagine Winston Churchill or FDR refusing to identify the Nazis by name for fear of bolstering their recruiting? Clinton even went so far as to say that jihadists are praying for Trump to win as this year privy to jihadi prayers. What complete nonsense. What do you make of that?
Well, again, I think the reality is the West is finally starting to wake up that our national identity, Muslims who believe in Americanism and in being British and being German, are the main solution. And we have to engage them, and they're only going to be engaged when we counter political Islam and the Islamic State, be it ISIS, Saudi Arabia, Iran, etc. So I'm waiting for the candidates to talk about freedom and democracy against those Islamic states, and yes, identify the enemy clearly, because you can't engage. I don't have a seat at the table, Liz, unless we identify political Islam as the problem, because reformists are irrelevant if you just say, well, Islam is not a problem, and you just let the global establishment of Islamic theocracy speak for us.